So here's to the dreamers, the seekers, the wise. Crystal lavender will reach in the skies. Through tarot and starlight we'll always roam. In the heart of the universe we found our home. Those where the mystics play. We speak the language of the Milky Way. A touch of Venus, a kiss from the moon, guiding lost hearts with a sweet, gentle tune.
Breathe in, breathe out. Hi, hello, welcome here, welcome back. Good morning, good night, good afternoon, whatever part of the world you're on. And whatever time you are watching this video, this episode of As the Tarot Turns is brought to you on purpose with purpose. And I'm your host, Crystal Lavender. Thank you so much for being here. It's truly an honor to be here. All right, so we are going to read for the Gemini Collective. Gemini. We'll see what's good. We'll get some general message, just kind of see whatever comes out, and we'll go from there. But before we do that, we are going to talk about this. This is my book. It is called Say You Love, and it is a testimony of triumph over the darkness of childhood sexual trauma and addiction. Okay, and I wrote this whole entire book using my phone and some paper. Like I would write some stuff down, and then I would do like a text to talk into my phone, and then I would go in and like edit it. All right. And I share my story, not because I'm proud of all the stupid stuff I've done, because I've done a whole lot of really embarrassing, stupid stuff. Right. But I share my story as a message of inspiration and hope for anybody out there that's struggling, that's either struggling in active addiction or struggling with, like overcoming childhood trauma, or feels like their life will never get better, or just kind of stuck in that like shame loop. Like I share my message as a story of hope and inspiration for anybody out there that is alone, okay, or feels like they're alone. You are not alone, all right? There's nothing that you cannot overcome. Like you are worth it, and I love you, right? You are loved. And this will be in all of the description boxes of all of my newer uploads. It is available on Amazon. It is also available on my website. Like you could get a free download on my website, or if you would like a signed copy, you can email me. And all of that stuff will be linked in the description box down below. Okay. So, all right, let's get started. Hi, Gemini. Gem in eyes. Some of my favorite people are Geminis. Let's put one of these scrolly things. I've got scrolls. Scrolling for days. Scrolling. Maybe that's what some of y'all are doing, is scrolling. Like your hands getting a cramp. You're like, oh, I need to put my phone down. Or you have to put it in this hand, or you're falling asleep with it like up in your hand, and like you fall asleep and it like falls on your face, So scrolling. Gemini, what's going on with the Gemini Collective? What do we got? What do we got? Gem in eye. I like saying it like that. Gem in eye. Ooh, the Justice card. So either you're going to get some justice, or if you're involved in some sort of court case or something like that, like you're definitely going to get, like the verdict will definitely be in your favor with the justice and the upright. Other than that, like if you're not involved in some sort of court case or something to do with like, with the criminal system or the justice system, I believe that somebody is probably going to apologize to you. Like you might get your well-deserved apology. You could hear about somebody having some sort of toxic attachments. Maybe you are dealing with somebody that might have like alcoholism or addiction, or like they might be super overly sexual, and they're trying to cope with their demons, okay? Or you're trying to cope with your demons, one of the two. I know what it's like to battle those demons. Like, hi, my name is Crystal, and I'm 3+ years into recovery, okay? Like, for most of my life, I have been on some sort of mind-altering substance since I was, like, 12 or 13 years old. So I'm just now learning how to be like myself. Like I am 3 years completely clean and sober. So for the last 3 years, I've been really like learning how to be a better friend and how to be a better mom, you know, without liquid courage, without some sort of mind altering substance, without partying, you know. And at times I'm definitely socially awkward, you know. So I think some of you are battling, you're either battling this demon yourself or you're dealing with somebody that is battling that demon with you or battling that demon next to you, or you're watching somebody that you love battling that demon. But you do have a lot of hope with the star card here. All right. That's like faith. That is purpose, renewed spirituality, fortune, good omens. You know, you could be dealing with an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Capricorn. But I definitely feel like there's definitely some sort of awareness, like maybe somebody's just taking that first step, like realizing like, hey, maybe I do have a problem. Like if you have to control your drinking, that means that it already has control over you. You know, if you have to control your spending, that means that that it already has control over you, right? So I think somebody is figuring out that they are a slave to substance, right? Slave to substance. Like look at this guy, like he's chained. He's got them chained up. Like, you know, and the one thing about addiction is like a lot of times the addiction will lie to you and say that you can't live without it, right? Like I can't live without this drink. I can't live without like this one item. I can't live without like whatever it is that you're addicted to or whatever it is that this person is addicted to. And the truth is that addiction can't live without them or you. Okay, like it will not survive if they cut it off. You know, it'd be dead without you. So it's not that you can't live without it, it's that it can't live without you. All right, so you do have a Page of Cups here. So there might be somebody that's younger than you, or it might be like a child or somebody that is a little bit younger or immature, you know. I don't feel like you're getting enough sleep either. Like I feel like you are running with the candle burning on both ends. It's like you probably have a lot of people pulling in your energy. Like, hey Gemini, I need you over here. Hey Gemini, I need you over here. Like, hey Gemini, can you come pay attention to me? It's like there's all these different energies that are pulling at you, and I feel like you're at a point of like exhaustion and burnout. You know, you could be getting some sort of surprising news, like happy surprising news from a younger person, you know. And it looks like you do have some sort of wish come true with the Nine of Cups here. Like there's something that you've been wishing for, something that you've been hoping for, something that you've had your eye on the prize, and it does look like you are going to be granted that wish, you know. Maybe every time that you blew out a candle, you always wish for the same thing, or any time that you've seen a falling star, you wished for the exact same thing. And my hand is itching right now. So maybe it's like a financial gain, like maybe you're becoming financially independent, or acquiring your own sense of independence. You know, it does feel like you are very confident in yourself, or people look at you like you're very confident, you know, and you're definitely celebrating. You've got a lot of reason to celebrate, you know, like you might be going out with friends, you know, you have collaborations, opportunities, like teamwork. You have a lot of people around you that are very much supportive of whatever it is your ambitions are, of like you've got a pretty good network of people that are supporting you, you know. Like you have a community, like you have a soul tribe, you know, and you've definitely completed some sort of major progress. Like the world is like major completion. Like the world in the upright is like getting a diploma, or completing like a whole like if you had to go through drug court, or you had to go through alcohol court, and like you finally get that certificate, or you had to have an SR22, you know, or you had to have a breathalyzer in your car, and it's like you've gone through a major completion of a cycle. You know, there's definitely like a wholeness and a fulfillment there. Something that you are completing is going to feel really good, and it's not something that was like just handed to you. It's something that you had to work really hard for, which is even better. You know, the harder we have to work for something, it's like when my son was younger, like I would buy him all these things, and it's like he would just throw them around or whatever. Like he had no sense of value until he actually had to work for something and get it for himself. And then he's like, oh wait, don't touch that. Like I bought that, I paid for that, you know? So this is definitely something that you have worked really hard for. It wasn't something that was just handed to you on a silver platter. You know, you might not have had much handed to you on a silver platter. You might have had to work for everything that you've ever had. So, and I'm pretty sure you're one of those people that have done so much with so little for so long that you can do practically anything with nothing. But that doesn't mean that it's not tiring, right? Yeah, you're definitely implementing a long-term plan. Like you probably have you have some long-term goals, you have ambitions, you have things that you want to accomplish. And I think you're starting to see like the first spark of like, you know, when a plant first pokes its little head out, you know, it's like it might have been a seed for a long time buried in darkness, and you didn't know if it whenever it was going to pop up, you know, and you keep looking and looking, and then finally like you see this little teeny tiny shimmer of like, okay, like things are actually growing. The things that you have been planting are actually growing. The things that you are working for are actually starting to show some form of success. You know, and you might be inspirational for other people, or there might be somebody around you that you find really inspiring. You know, somebody that's like your diehard cheerleader, like no matter what, they've always got your back, or no matter what, you've always got their back. It's like maybe you guys work together like that as a team. It's like you guys are constantly cheering each other on. But there's definitely somebody like looking up to you as inspiration, you know. And you're choosing happiness. Like you're not holding on to anything from the past with the Four of Cups in the reverse here. It's like you're choosing happiness. Like you're accepting whatever it is, or you're accepting that it is what it is, and it'll be what it'll be. And you're not dwelling on any sort of anything that has nothing to do with you. You're like, if these are not my, that's not my circus, those aren't my monkeys. Like, okay, this person, like I see their true colors, like I don't want them in my life, like that's cool, you know. Like you're learning to accept, you know, that, I mean, not everybody is meant to stay in your life forever, and that's okay, right? That doesn't mean that that doesn't mean that this person wishes you any harm or any ill will, and I don't think that you wish, you know, this person any ill will or any harm. Like if people have fallen out of your life, it's just like, okay, like I respect your decision, it is what it is, right? You know, and it's probably taken you a long time to get to that. Maybe the old you, like if somebody tried to, you know, like you probably had some sort of abandonment wounds, and it's taken you a lot of accountability and a lot of inner work to come to this place of choosing happiness. You know, like it's taken a whole lot of strength to get you to where you are right now, you know, to where if you're on my team or you're in my way, right? Like if you're not celebrating my successes with me, then what is the point, right? What is the point of, like, are you paying my bills? Then your opinion don't matter, right? Are you helping me build my empire? Then your opinion don't matter. Like you're being very discerning on what you let affect you and effect you, right? And you've got a lot of courage and a lot of passion and a whole lot of inner strength, Gemini. Like your inner strength, like you have a massive amount of inner strength, and people don't get that kind of inner strength without having been through a shit ton that they had to get through. It's like sometimes we'll pray, we're like, God, please give me strength, but like God doesn't just come down and hand you strength. He sends you situations that build your character, that build your strength, right? So I think you've been through a lot of strength building exercises, we'll call it, right? But sometimes I do think you have a little bit of self-doubt. Like you wonder if any of it's ever like worth it. Are you doing the right thing? Does anybody really care? You know, are you, you know, are you affecting people? Like, it's like I feel like you're a natural healer, you know, and you're not sure if what you're doing is actually inspiring people or actually doing what it is that you want to do for them. But I guarantee you there are people out there that your smile, just you smiling to them, made their whole entire day, and then it had that ripple effect. So you might not see that ripple that happens, but guaranteed, like the kindness that you do towards others has that ripple effect. Okay. And I think that you have definitely definitely been there and been the strong person for a lot of people that have been down. Okay. But at the same time, you still have a little bit of that self-doubt. I mean, but who doesn't? We're human, right? Human, guilty, okay? Guilty. But I think you started to get some signs and synchronicities from the universe that you are doing what you're supposed to do. That like you might have received a message out of nowhere about how inspiring you are, and you're just like, what? You know what I mean? Where did that come from? That came out of nowhere. You know, be careful of anybody around you, or be careful embodying the win at all costs. Okay, like you don't want to, like, a win isn't a win if you have to lie or cheat or steal to get it, right? So be cautious of people that you see, that like if you see that that's what they're about, you know what I mean? Don't think for 1 second that they wouldn't throw you under the bus to get where they want to get. Okay, like getting what you want and achieving your goals doesn't mean that you got to lie and cheat and steal and, you know, do it manipulatively. Yeah, because there's somebody that's a little bit sneaky, you know. And I think you're a very hard worker. With the Knight of Pentacles, you got hard work. Like you have a lot of responsibility, a lot that you take care of, you know. And the universe is like, release fear, you know. Don't worry so much if what you're doing is right. Like you are on the right track. You are doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. A lot of times we get super like I know that I've been super bummed out in times in my life because it's like, well, I'm not living this extraordinary life. But in all actuality, the ordinary is truly extraordinary, right? Like there were times in my life that my life was so chaotic, you know, like insane amounts of chaos, you know. So when I look at my life now, like to others it might look like it's ordinary, it might look like it's boring, it might look, you know, it's like, but is it boring or is it peaceful? Like there's a big difference there. Some people might think that it's boring, and you are like, no, like I have actual peace of mind, you know. So I think that you are doing a really good job, like maintaining that inner peace. You know, even though you've been through a lot of heartache, a lot of trials, you've been tested plenty of times, okay? Plenty of times. But I think you can smell that test when it's coming. You're like, oh, no, no, no. Like, I smell that. Like, I've been there, done there, stepped in that, like, got the t-shirt, you know, got the beer koozie. Like, I'm good. So good job avoiding any repeated cycles there. You might not be too fast to open up. Like somebody wants you to open up emotionally. Like there might be somebody that's pushing you to release your emotions, to be emotional, to talk about emotional things. Like they want to connect with you on a deeper level. It's like they want to know, they just want you to open. They want to open you up, and they want to know every little inch and crevice about you. And you're like, zip, you know, they're like zip, and put in another coat and zip that up. Like I think you have a very like heavy layer of armor, you know, against opening up to people or like truly being like 100% vulnerable. You've probably been betrayed before in your past, but if you're dealing with somebody that is really trying to open you up, like they want a forever with you. Like they want to get to know you because they want to know you. Okay. They want to know who you are. Like they're fascinated by you as a person, not by the shallow stuff, you know. Like they don't want to have shallow conversations. It's like they don't just listen to you to respond. Like they actually listen to what you're saying because they want to know who you are. They want to hear you. Okay, there is somebody around you that definitely wants to hear who you are, hear about you. They're not just like listening so that they have a chance to put their 2 cents in. Like they might not even say anything, you know, they just might listen to listen. Like this person definitely has a whole lot of love for you. Like they got a whole lot of love. You know, there might be a little bit of nostalgia, like living in the past or living in the past mistakes, or, you know, kind of beating yourself up for things that, you know, you wouldn't beat your friend up for if they did, you know. So try to give yourself the same amount of compassion that you would give to someone else. I know like a lot of times, like we're our worst critic, like we are harder on ourselves than we are our friends or we are our loved ones. But try to view yourself as someone that you love, and then see if you would be so hard on that person, i.e. you. Okay. So don't beat yourself up too hard for the things that you've done in the past. You definitely need to take some time out for self. I think that you are most definitely pulled in all kinds of different directions. You know, there's a lot of people that want your attention. There's a lot of people, like, you might have a lot of different responsibilities, you know, but make sure that you put time away for yourself, to spend some time in the quiet. It doesn't even matter if it's just in your car, like driving in your car, you know, listening to music, like 15 minutes out of a day, you know, to just sit and reflect and be with yourself will definitely do you a whole lot of good, because I think you have there's just a lot of energetic pull, you know, like people are pulling from all kinds of different directions, you know. If someone is acting cold towards you, like if they're acting like cold, you know, or they're cutting off communication or cutting off some sort of affection, that is definitely a manipulation tactic. Okay, that means that you're not giving them what it is that they want, or they're pouting. You might have somebody that's around you that pouts, you know, and then will act unaffectionate towards you, you know. And I think you need to call them out on their bullshit with that one. If there's somebody that's doing that, or like, you know, just because they're in a bad mood, they try to pick a fight with you, like definitely make sure that you put them in their place with that. Like, hey, like, you're not going to pick a fight with me because you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or because somebody pissed in your Cheerios. Okay. Like, that is not a me problem. That is a you problem. And I'm not going to make it a me problem. Right. So there might be somebody around you that you might have to put in their place like that. But for the overall, like, you're finding a real sense of inner balance, you know, like the Temperance card here, like she's filling that cup, you know, the one cup into the other. She's alchemizing those emotions. You're like transmuting those emotions. You're processing your emotions. Like, I don't think you're taking your emotions out on other people, you know, like this other person is, like this King of Cups in reverse over here. But you are definitely guarded. There's definitely a sense of being guarded, like just zoop, like you're zipped it up, zip it up, nope, zip it. Like, you don't want to talk about it. Anything that has to do with, like, on an emotional level, you're like, nope, don't want to talk about it. So it might take a little bit of courage, you know, and this person might have to have a lot of persistence. But I mean, there's a thing about being persistent. Like, I'm a persistent motherfucker, you know what I mean? And I had to learn how to back up off of something. Like, if the universe said no, I had to learn how to back up off of it, because I am a persistent person, you know. So I had to learn how to not be so persistent on things that wasn't for me, or somebody that, you know, didn't even like me to begin with. You know what I mean? So I think this person is really persistent towards you. It might get on your nerves. Yeah, but you got the Magician. You know, that's that magic action. Like, you definitely turn water into wine. You know what I mean? Like, you are definitely an alchemist. Like, you can flip a profit off of anything. You might be able to sell ice to an Eskimo if you really needed to. It's like, you can turn any situation to your favor. Like, you're very charismatic. You're really good with your words. Like, you've got, like, amazing people skills, right? They say you got a purty mouth too. You got a purty mouth. And I think you're humble about it. Like, you play it small, you know? You play it a little bit small. But the reality is like, you the Magician. Like, if it wasn't for how creative you are in your endeavors, like, there's some things that definitely wouldn't get accomplished. All right. There's some things that wouldn't get done. Yeah, you have a huge role to play in the lives of the people that you're around. Like, you are definitely a huge inspiration. Like, you are definitely part of the foundation on which the people that, like, are around you have been building on. And that might be a tough role to play too, because it's like, well, what happens if the foundation cracks? You know, then what happens? You know, like, who's going to come in and fix the foundation? Is like, do I always have to be the foundation? You know, like, sometimes you don't want to be the foundation, and I understand that. but you definitely have a sense of comfort and calm. Like you're very nurturing, very giving, very, very giving of your time, very giving of your, just like your love. Like you have so much love. I think you're beautiful, Gemini. Yeah, giving, receiving, sharing, generosity, wealth, right? Like you might volunteer, you might sign up to do some volunteer work. I would just be careful of that person trying to manipulate you or trying to guilt trip you into feeling some sort of way. And if there's somebody that's annoying you about opening up, or like they're being super persistent about it, like just tell them, like, hey, like I will open up at my own time. Like you're going to have to be patient with me, not persistent, patient. But it's definitely going to move forward. You have a whole lot of movement forward. All right. I think you're well on your way to achieving whatever it is that you've set out to achieve. You might even be like moving literally, like moving from one place to another, or from one job to another, you know. But don't be impulsive, Gemini. I know some of y'all is impulsive. So if you catch yourself like you're going to go head first into something, like take a deep breath real quick and then kind of look around before you go jumping off any cliffs, okay? Don't go cliff dive in without checking your surroundings first, all right? So the signs we got on the table are, we have Sagittarius, we have Scorpio, we have Cancer, we have Taurus, we've got Gemini, and another Sagittarius and Libra. So Gemini, I'm proud of you, Gemini. Like I think you've come a long ways, come a long ways from where you were to where you are now. Like I'm sure it's leaps and bounds, and anybody that's known you for a long time will definitely recognize the growth that you have achieved inside yourself, like with your mentality, with your emotional balance. Like I'm proud of you, Gemini. All right. So those are the messages that I have for my beautiful Gemini collective. Please remember to hit that little like button on your way out and subscribe if you like my vibe, like Mojo Tarot says. All right. And until next time, be good to yourself and be good to others. Boom, beep, beep. Love you.